All right, welcome to episode 7, question mark.
We need to start
I,
remembering which episodes we're
I
actually
think this
doing
is
when we
episode
film them.
7 of Dumb and Drummer. Our guest today is Stu Fagan from, the Instagram handle is Beyond the Beat, and a lot of you probably know that already. But hey, man, thank you so much for coming on and chatting with us today. It's a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you so much for having me. First of all, thank you so much for having me. I'm really looking forward to it. It's great to put, great to actually speak to you in real life, so to speak,
Oh,
even
yeah,
if
yeah.
it's a virtual world, because we speak on Instagram quite a lot, and of course, it's nice to feel like we've got a bit more of a relaxed, in-depth conversation. So I'm looking forward to it. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Absolutely, man. We're excited as well. We'll go ahead and kick right off into the questions here.
Go for it,
You
brother.
run a really successful Instagram page. I think I've been following you for the better part of 2 years and
Mhm.
seeing your page develop and things like that. How about just let's start with what's your favorite part about your channel and what is the most challenging part of your channel?
I think that the my favorite part of the channel is how easy it is to communicate with people. I suppose to communicate with people, it's the accessibility of the platform, I think. And the fact that we can actually speak to each other, learn so much from each other, the sense of community that it seems to create is
Hmm.
just absolutely fantastic. And this is something that's completely new to me. I mean, of course, like the sense of community that I'm used to is the sense that, is being out there in the real world, playing
Yeah.
the gigs and whatnot. And it's a completely different vibe, but it's just as valuable. And we're learning just as valuable, like skills that are just as valuable that maybe we would never have been able to learn before because, of course, when like time is a restraint and day-to-day circumstances prevent you from being able to be in those real-world situations with people to learn this much.
Right.
The internet is terrible for a lot of things, but it's also really good for a lot of things too. It's the
Hmm.
communication. I absolutely love how easy it is to connect with people and to learn and to grow. I think probably the most challenging aspect of it is do you know what? I actually think the most challenging, like, I'm one of those people that, and I think that this is a reason that that my page as successful as people think it is because I like to be a real person and I like to speak to people. And the catch 22 in that is that the bigger the page grows, the more difficult it actually becomes to speak to people on an individual basis.
Yeah.
I'm one of those guys. I like to reply to all of the messages. I like to reply to the comments, and
Yeah, I
it gets
noticed that for
it
sure.
gets yeah, man, and it gets to a point where it's difficult to do that to the level that I like to do, and it makes me feel bad because everyone that reaches out deserves a response, and I dare say it's getting to that point now where you almost have to pick and choose the things that you respond to because some people are just straight up just, yo, bro, send me a drum kit. Hi, can I have a drum kit for free, please? Because I'm just going to go to the studio and I'm just going to pack it up and ship it off to somewhere in the UK for you. Come
Yeah,
on,
yeah,
man.
yeah,
Do you
yeah.
know? So it's those kind of things that it's like having to be I suppose it's not having the time to do everything that I'd like to do on it, but I
Okay,
love it,
so
man.
I have a follow-up question on that. So, we've talked a lot with the previous guests about the direction their channel has gone and how it isn't necessarily ideal. Like you kind of get in the rabbit hole. You're like, oh, my page is getting really big, and this is what people like, so I'm gonna keep doing it. And then after a while, you're like, maybe this isn't exactly what I want to do, but I know if I like change something, there's a risk that people will like unfollow me or they won't like it or something like that. So my question to you is what is ideal? Is it the fill videos? Are you trying to expand into something or evolve into something different? And I'm not shitting on what you do at all. I love what you do. And a lot of
No,
people
no,
have
no.
copied what you've done. But as far as the ideal circumstances, does it look like continuing on the same path or are you trying to
I
evolve into
try
something
to.
else?
Yeah, man, that's a great question. I mean, I try to do what feels right at the time, and like you've just made a comment about like maybe some people seeing what I do, and sort of trying to do the same thing as what I do. Well, let's make no mistakes. People were doing what I do before I was doing what I do, you know?
Yeah.
So like there's this like constant stream of influence that's going on. And I think you're absolutely right. The channel starts to grow. You get to that point where you start getting the rewards that are behind the scenes. Like
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? I've not even watched The Social Dilemma yet, but I believe that this is the kind of thing that it goes into, that Netflix documentary. I
Mm-hmm.
think it goes into all of the dopamine, the dopamine receptors and all that kind of stuff. And I liken it to the casinos in Vegas,
Yeah.
pumping fresh oxygen in, not having fresh light, no clock, so you lose track of time. And
Wow,
of
that's a
course,
great analogy.
let's make no mistake, man. These apps are the way they are to keep us addicted to them. That is why they are. So I try to. I mean, just make no mistake. I am in this world. So to an extent, I have to just succumb to that because that is just kind of what it is.
Yeah, it's
But
par for the course. Yeah.
yeah, but at the same rate, yeah, absolutely. But at the same rate, I like to try to think with a certain bit of knowledge that you're not kind of, you're not, you're almost trying to play the system in a weird way. You're trying to do what you want to do, and you're trying to think about how the delivery of doing what you want to do will get you the attention that you want because you
Mm-hmm.
believe that what you're giving away is something that provides a value to people.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
and also, because it's such a passive format of media as well, people assume a lot of things out of context. So, absolutely, they will see me post a 15-second fill clip and they may make a passive judgment that, like, that isn't the way you teach. But if you read between the lines and if you're that kind of person that does, you will establish that there's so much more you can actually get out of a little passive piece of
Oh
media.
yeah,
And I think it's
100%.
kind of down. It's the viewer's responsibility, I think, to kind of be aware of that. And I think that, I mean, there's definitely no doubt that the way things are going, you see these changes and you see the apps try to mimic other apps, and it makes you realize that it is just you know, it's like a big competition. So I mean,
Mm-hmm.
what I between the apps, I mean, big competition between the apps, not between
Yeah.
what I and someone else is doing.
No, I
I'm trying
understand. I
to,
understand what you mean.
we're all part of a community. I tend to post what I like to post because I like what I'm doing, and it actually ends up being more of a reflection of my what I'm wanting to express at the time. And so the fill thing actually came about. I made a little note about this because I thought that this would be quite an interesting thing to talk about. So it's a coincidence that we are. I basically, what I started to do was, like, the fill thing took shape a couple of years after starting the page.
Mm-hmm.
And I was already aware that people did these kind of breakdowns, but I was just exploring what I wanted to do. And because I've been a teacher for 13 years, anyway, I knew that there were certain things that I could offer that people would find value in. And it was actually when I started posting, it wasn't even like one of these what has now turned into these quick fill videos. It wasn't even something like that, but it was basically the first thing. It was basically the first thing that was like that.
Yeah.
And it was just like I posted one day just this like this flurry of notes that I would kind of use as a big like rock star ending at the end of a song at a gig.
Yeah.
So there was
Trash
no
can.
time. Yeah, there was no time to it. There was no notation I could have written. And so I just decided to post it as like this cool little thing that you can do from a showmanship perspective when you're actually gigging. So like, you know, it wasn't particularly musical, but it was so applicable. And
Mm-hmm.
so many people seemed to engage with it because they liked what it stood for and how easy it was to absorb for them.
Mm-hmm.
It's that I tried to explore that. So then I started to deliver what came naturally to me, which was hearing these offbeat rhythms in my head and turning them into some kind of pattern that utilized odd phrases, because I you know, like musicality aside, I have borderline OCD and ADHD as well, and so I like to just this is where a lot of the expressiveness comes from and things like that as well. You know, it's funny, people think I'm acting when I'm doing these videos. If you guys knew me in real life,
That's like your
you
real
know
personality.
this is what
Yeah.
I'm like in real life, man.
No,
And all,
even before we started, you're like, "Let's go." You're like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah."
It's so true, man. It's so true. But yeah, I mean, I think that what you've said is completely true. Unless you have your finger on the pulse, and unless you're mindful of it, you are aware of it, and you remind yourself of it, you can very easily fall down the rabbit hole and then look back in a year and think, "Whoa." Things have changed and I've not kept a track. I like to have a plan though. I have a rough plan, but then I like to deviate and explore new avenues. And
Yeah.
if something works that's congruent with the end game, my end game was reaching more students. And so these little fill lessons I was posting really, really helped to achieve that. So I carried on doing it. I will continue to do what I enjoy to do. But what I've also started to realize is that early on, I was putting so much time into content, so much time.
Yeah.
Partly that's because I didn't have the experience video editing.
Yeah.
When I started my Instagram page from scratch, I learned how to record and mix and things like that. So this was like, it was like something that I was doing to progress myself, and I've fucking totally gone on. I completely forgotten what I'm talking about. I've completely forgotten what I'm talking about. What was the question?
Well, I mean,
I do that all the time. I actually have ADHD myself, and I will start talking about something, and in my head, connect it to 50 other things.
Yeah.
And then by the time I realize that I'm not talking about what we were originally talking about, I'm 5 subjects away.
You understand? That's it. That explains what has just happened.
I do it constantly.
It's the universe's cue to go to the next question, because then the next question will be like, that's exactly what I was thinking about.
Man, you'll have to do it, because if not, I will just ramble. I
have one slightly off-topic question, just because we were talking about the size of your Instagram, and you were saying how you get some of those, send me a free drum kit comments. You must get some just out there comments and messages. What is one? Do you have a comment that just stands out there that you just read it and you were like, what?
Do you know, that's actually such a good question, and I really wish I had the perfect answer for it. But what actually I tend to find quite a lot on mine is you get do you know, there's actually nothing really that out there that's made me kind of look back and go, whoa. And I'm kind of disappointed about that. I kind of want that,
Actually,
in the comments.
It was really funny how you said, and I wanted to make a comment on it in the middle of one of your answers. But when people are like, oh, well, this isn't the way to do that, or that's sloppy, or I don't like that fill, or you didn't play that right, or I blah blah blah. It's like, there's always critics.
Yeah.
And I think it goes back to what we were talking about before, that the criticism is part of the more exposure you get, the more criticism you're going to get. Because the more you're out there and you're exposed. I just think it's funny that, you look at and I mean, I don't want to judge people, okay? I mean, I try not to judge people, especially drummers, but you might look at that person's page and they have 86 followers and 3 posts not even about drums, but they felt the need to tell you, I don't like what you did, which is very interesting to me.
No, I think that actually the points that, the question that you asked and the point that you've just made, I think we can tie these in together really well, because I completely agree with what you've said, and I think the comments and the messages that I get more often than not are comments that pertain to that type of subject. What you've just said, it's the critics, and what I find is that it always says more about the person saying the comment than it does the person receiving the comment. And so you have to get into that mindset where you just completely ignore them, or you do what I do, which is basically, I like to reply to these comments, but I like to, what my friend likes to refer to what I do as kill them with kindness.
Oh, okay. So you're just super nice.
Yeah, man, I'll just be super. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm a nice person, but we've all got a nasty streak. You know what I mean? And I could choose to do that, but there are so many people that read these comments that it doesn't benefit anyone. And there are so many people that are reading these comments as well that if I was having a bad day, an off day, yeah, I've got the right to express myself just like these
Yeah.
people have, but that's the lasting impression that people have of you. These fleeting mood changes where someone gets in a mood and pissed off and decides to write a comment.
Yeah.
Why are you making a stupid face when you play the drums? Why have you posted a fill after one take that wasn't perfect? Well, because that's real life, my friend.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
what social media is, but should be. So I completely agree. I completely agree with that. And I think that the comments that I get more often than not, they're about my face and they're about my expressions, man. And I've got a nervous tick as well, so fuck them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Fuck
You know
off.
what
I
I mean?
mean, like,
I'm here doing what I feel is a really good thing, like trying to help people and expressing myself, which I've got a right to do, and I enjoy it, and lots of other people enjoy it. My mum and dad,
yeah.
they brought me up to, if they said, if you've got nothing nice to say, don't say it,
Yeah.
because you don't need to. And I think that
Not
you're
necessary.
so
Yeah.
right, man. The bigger the page gets, that's what happens. But then even though you have a right to express yourself, I feel that in a position like mine, you have a responsibility as well. To show that I don't want to stoop to their level and do the same kind of thing, even if I
Yeah.
feel like doing that on their day.
You're taking the high road. No, I
Yeah,
appreciate that and I respect that for sure. And it's funny that you say about authenticity because that has been a common theme in the last few interviews is people having really successful pages and they're like, I'm doing my page for me, like the way that I want to do it.
the way
And
I
that's so
would I
refreshing
agree with that.
because you can get stuck where you're like, I mean, I'm just speaking from personal experience where you're like, I want to give people what they want to
Yeah.
see. I want to play things that people want to hear. And it's like at a certain point you have to choose. Either you're going to be a tool and you're just going to do whatever you think people want you to do, or you're going to be yourself and you're going to be our authentic self. And you have to choose which one of those is more important. And I'm kind of right on the cusp of moving more towards an authentic representation and getting out of and spending less time on that sort of thing. I do want to talk about Meinl. So
Oh yeah.
I've been playing Meinl exclusively for about 5+ years. So I definitely love the brand. And
Oh
you
wow.
recently switched from is it called Aegean?
Aegean,
But
absolutely, yeah.
but you switched from Aegean to Meinl, and I know on your post you just said I'm looking for something new. I'm looking to just change that. No hard feelings. I know. And your stuff has always sounded great. And I actually do really love Aegean practice cymbals too.
Oh
They're
man, they're
they're
great.
they're, they're
You know what?
probably top of the line. But tell me about your experience with Meinl. Like how's it been going so far?
Amazing, absolutely amazing. Like, and don't get me wrong. Before I do inevitably ramble about it for the next few minutes, the Aegean really are great. Aegean really are great. They're really cool guys. They make amazing cymbals, and I'd recommend them to anyone. Being a Meinl drummer, like there's no kind of secrecy. The different brands work for different people, and in my personal experience, it all boils down to the fact that I've never been a gear guy. I've never ever been a gear guy. So I've never been very particular about any one brand because I've liked to try lots of different things over the years
Yeah.
and see what they are, see what they're like, and I don't even believe that there's like only one brand for a person. Like drum kits, like Tama are as just as good as Pearl, or are just as good as Natal, or are just as good as Mapex. It's just preferences. It's all just
Mhm.
preferences. And I got to a point in my artistic life where I was wanting a change, and I wanted to just try. I get like that. I want to try new things. I want to see what's out there.
Yeah.
And I got this opportunity. And when they reached out to me, I was already in that mindset where I was kind of looking to make changes and try
Nice.
something new. And Norbert from Meinl reached out to me, and we had a little chat. We worked something out, and straight away, oh my God, the efficiency of the company, the integrity of the brand,
Mhm.
the respect that they give you as an artist. They've only, they don't know me at all, but it's like they're really going out of the way to help. And it feels like, from my point of view as well, in the UK, um, there aren't as many dedicated drum events now as there were 15, 20 years ago in terms of clinics and things like that, but it's
Yeah.
been kind of coming back over the last few years, and I've noticed that it's either Meinl or Roland that are the companies that seem to be behind all these things. So they're so active in the community. The symbols are just incredible, man. I mean,
Can we just stop for a second or just pause for 1 second? You have not talked about the sound of the cymbals. You just gave like 9 reasons why Meinl's amazing.
yeah,
And just now, because I mean, I know how good they sound. I mean, I wouldn't
yeah.
use them almost exclusively if I didn't love them, but it's
Well,
so cool
everyone,
that you're like, it's the whole experience.
that's
The
the point,
cymbals are
man.
great. Aegean's great.
Everyone
Zildjian's
knows they
great.
can. Yeah, everyone can walk to the shop and see that they sound great. Anyone can walk into it. That what's the big one that you have in America? Is it
Guitar
Sam?
Center
Yeah, Guitar Center
or
and
Sam Ash.
Sam Ash.
Sam Ash.
Yeah.
So yeah, like anyone can walk into something like that and just try some cymbals. Feel that they're amazing, hear that they're amazing. You hear them on the recordings, they're amazing. But this is what I'm saying. Lots and lots and lots of other companies. We all know that about all of these companies. And so from my perspective, that's like a given. They're going to be great symbols. It's the way that we interact as a community that's really important for me. The way that they treat you as an artist and the way that they communicate with you. It's really, really valuable to me because I'm so invested in the personal touch, and it's just they have all my like they have all the all my favorite artists as well. We have Matt Garscar and Mike Johnston, Annika Nils. It's like I feel like I'm not worthy. I don't deserve this situation that I'm in.
But you do.
Well, and people tell me this, but from my point of view, like I'm just a guy in Warrington that teaches people how to have fun playing the drums, and I just feel really lucky to be in a position where they think that there's something about me that I can that I'm worthy enough to like represent them in some way. It's really, really, really humbling. It's really humbling. And there was another little note that I made. About the clinic thing, like because I'm so big into education and Meinl are also so big into the live event scene that I'm hoping for the opportunity for some maybe some development, and when gigs and live events come back this year and next year, if there are any like clinic events based in the UK with a Meinl artist, one of the first things I'll be doing is speaking to the rep and seeing if there's any opportunity that I can jump aboard that, and then I can have an even better opportunity to show people face to face what I'm actually capable of in an environment when there's people and real energy to feed off, because doing this whole thing online is cool, but there's no substitute for the energy of having a person in the room with you and teaching them that way. That's my bag, man. It's real life like that.
And I don't want to shit on any other drummer, so I'm not saying anything negative about Matt or Mike or Annika or anybody, but people know you as, you have a unique brand. So when people that do know you, if they see you at a Meinl clinic, they're like, I mean, hopefully he teaches us some fills, or he goes through his process, or so I mean, like, don't discount the value you bring to the table, because like I love Matt, but Matt doesn't make instructional Instagram videos.
Yeah.
I mean, he does the videos, stuff like Annika's page is fire. I mean, her stuff is absolutely ice cold, but she doesn't really do any like breakdowns on her page. Like I'm sure she offers lessons in some capacity, like you can hire and stuff like that. But you have a different level of accessibility. So everybody's bringing different strengths to the table. So like if I go to a clinic, I'm kind of right there with you too. I'm like, Animals as Leaders is one of my favorite bands. I mean, if not my favorite band. So of course I'm going to be fanboying, Matt Garsko the whole time. And if you break stuff down, it can get really, really complex, as you probably already know. Like if you listen to any of his interviews, his mind is absolutely nuts. I mean, it's very hard to comprehend things on the level that he does. But I like how you break it down. I mean, you really make it accessible to like pretty much anyone, because there's not even any sheets. I mean, you don't have to read the music. I know we talked about that before, but you just read the sticky and you just watch the video.
I've mostly taught myself how to read music. Like, so my vocabulary when it comes to drums is actually very limited. I'm a mostly self-taught. your videos have been invaluable to me in
That's really good to know.
just like figuring out stickings. Like you won't even be playing a song that I'm trying to learn, but I'll watch one of your videos and it'll be like, I know that's sticking. I know that stick, and I will be able to, and seeing you break it down with the ghost notes and the accents and everything has been invaluable to me as a drummer.
Wow, thank you. That's really, really great feedback, because one of the things quite often that gives me a little bit of imposter syndrome is the fact that I know I can teach even much better, so much better than I actually do online. Not discounting the value of the stuff that I do online, but that's just another thing that I do, and I'm trying to make it accessible, of course. So it's so good to know that it actually works. But the live teaching environment and the live lessons with me is something where I really go into detail about the process, like you've said, and about the concepts that are behind these little things that just get posted. And it's just it's something that I've wanted to do. Like, people learn how to play an instrument maybe because they want to be in a band and they want to be on stage and they want to rock. And yeah, man, I want to play gigs. I'm in a function band and we play weddings all the time. And
Nice.
it's so much fun. Yeah, man, it's so much fun. But there's no doubt that, like, my real passion comes from, like, delivering information to people and seeing them, like, get it and really enjoy it, and provide, like, some kind of source of positivity in their life. So I'm really got my fingers crossed. I've got everything crossed that that's going to transpire at some point this year. And then people, because, you know, I could do this on YouTube. I could go on YouTube and I could spend 6 hours making a 10-minute video, 15-minute video where I am going
Yeah.
into the concept, but it's not viable because I'm spending all of my time at home teaching here. And this is why the quick content on Instagram works for me. I don't have time to do a YouTube video to do it justice, and I'd rather not do it if it's not going to do it justice. I'll wait for the opportunity until I can really express what I want to in the right context.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Just for like what you were saying about you don't have the time for these long videos. I don't have the attention span for these long videos.
That's a good point.
With my ADHD, I'll start dicking around on my phone and all that. So seeing these, boom, this is it slow, this is it fast, here's this. Oh, cool.
Well, here's the other thing too. If I have my phone and I watch one of your videos, I'm never in front of my drum kit.
Yeah.
I'm in the bathroom. I'm on my couch.
I was about to say, my saved Instagram, there's about 8 of those are you.
Nice.
Because I'm like, oh, I'm not by my kit. I need to watch this later.
Yeah, exactly. So there's all kinds of weird variables. You're mixing for a phone speaker, even though you want to have really good gear, really good mixing ability. Okay, so video is probably the most important, but other people don't care about video. We see shit video quality from people, and they have huge pages. I mean, I can give you 3 or 4 examples right off the top of my head. And then just the fact that it's like, I cannot agree with you more, and that doesn't resonate. I mean, that's one of the things that resonates the most out of our conversation thus far is like, I'm done with the video content, but I'm still 4 to 5 hours away from posting a finished product that I'm happy with. And you know what I just said the other day? This was very recently, probably within the last month. I'm like, fuck that. I get 1 hour. I will go to the studio. I will have fun. I will do things on my own term, and I have on my own terms, and I have 1 hour to put it online.
Yeah.
Because me making the sheets and screen cropping stuff and editing the video and color grading and all that kind of stuff, like you said, I don't want to do that. I mean, if I'm doing 2 videos a week, that's 10 hours a week.
Yeah.
Not even including the time it took me to film the content, which, you know, sometimes you're just your hands ain't working or your brain ain't working, and you got to do a take 30 times. So,
and you know what? And sorry to interrupt you, but
no, go ahead.
A really good thing as well. A really good point is that when I started doing that and trying to make, like, if you're making something for YouTube, I kind of feel like it should be, YouTube's more like TV because
it's a long form content.
So yeah, so I appreciate it should be shiny and polished. And this is why I like the Instagram format, because that's not really my bag. I want to be able to do what I want. And it was just like the quality of what I do has just progressed to a point now over 4 years where I can do it with that quality very, very quickly because of the short video. And that's just a benefit of having done it for so consistently for so long. But at the same rate, I think, oh damn, I forgot what I was talking about. Oh,
we were talking about the process, the all the time that goes into the process of finishing that. YouTube's polished and long form, Instagram short.
So I sometimes would run out of time. The time I had allocated myself to do the video for, and I've just gone, do you know what? I'm just going to bin this whole idea off because it's taking too much time. I'm not happy with it.
Oh wow!
I'm probably never going to be happy with it. So I'm just going to post something that's got mistakes in it. Do you know what I mean?
It's not perfect, but you don't have to completely waste it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I did it. I took the concept and just made like a throwaway video instead. Really bad quality. I actually did it as an experiment about 2 years ago. I realized that the stuff I was really emotionally invested in and really wanted people to see, I don't decide what they like. They decide what they like. So I post these videos and I spend so much time and I'm like, yeah, boy, it's like, come on, I'm going to watch it and I'm going to get so-and-so that'll share it.
It's going to go viral.
Yeah, man. And then nothing happens with it. And I fucking post a little throwaway one that took me 2 minutes or something like that with my phone. And because I'm showing someone something that's valuable, that relates to them, boom. And then it's like, whoa, if you do what you're trying to do, like how you do it doesn't matter. Like if you're going to get your message across, then it doesn't matter how you're getting your message across, just do it. And that was another huge factor into just like not caring quite as much throughout the process of what people were expecting or thinking. And that was a big transition from much earlier in our conversation. We were talking about, you know, like something about how we should like the stuff we decide to post, I think it was. I've forgotten again. But,
well, no, like I understand what you mean. Like how intentional you are. Like, what's the plan? What's the brand? Okay, am I being authentic or am I winning a popularity contest? All that sort of thing. So it's a lot to think about. So I think we got time for one or two more here. I don't want to keep you. I want to talk about who has influenced you. So we all have our list. So and I'm kind of looped the last two questions into one question. Who motivated you to start drumming, and who would you say are they're playing still influences you the most? Oh, all right. It's a picture on the wall. Oh, it's a tattoo. Okay.
Do we know what?
Is that Deftones?
I learned the intro to Digital Bath from you.
Oh, sweet. Okay, cool. I was like, I don't want to be wrong, but yeah, Abe Cunningham, man. Yeah, hell yeah.
Abe.
Yeah.
And they have been my favorite band. Look at this. Let me see.
Oh, I thought we were gonna get a booty shot or something.
Oh yeah.
Oh shit. Yeah.
Oh no way. That's so cool.
Oh, sick.
This was my first gig I ever went to in my entire life.
And Brett's got something too.
Yep.
Yeah.
I should go grab my White Pony vinyl. That thing, if anybody takes that, I'm gonna stab them in the fucking face. I mean, they're dead. Oh shit.
Oh no.
That's such a good picture.
Don't tell me you've even met him. No way.
Wow.
It was at the NAMM. Yes, it was at the NAMM show one year.
Oh man. Well, he's my favorite, right? Listen, I'm a huge new metal kid, man. So I was born in 85. I was born in 1985.
When's your birthday?
11th of March.
Okay, I was born in 85. My birthday's on the 21st. So yeah, it's pretty. So you're a Gemini then, right?
No, Pisces.
You're a Pisces. Oh, okay.
It must be a couple of days.
Yeah, I got my horoscopes are crazy. Anyway.
Well, yeah, man. Abe Cunningham. It's the whole, and obviously, I agree. It was the whole Rage Against the Machine, Korn, Limp Bizkit, Deftones. That was my thing, and it was that whole that whole funky. I was just really into the kind of, I'm not really too into hip hop, but I was into that bouncy hip hop vibe that the drummers from that generation and that kind of genre seemed to apply a hell of a lot. They had piccolo snares cranked proper high and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
So Abe's kind of bounciness really, really appeals to me. He's my hugest influence, and he's when I'm grooving and when I'm playing, I like to do what he does quite a lot. I'll just, you know, in an appropriate musical context, of course.
Yeah.
I'll be doing it when I'm playing "Sex on Fire" at a wedding or something. You know, I'll be end up playing when I'm jamming like Abe songs. Or when I'm jamming with my mates, I'll always like just displace one snare or something. And he always just does that. Just throws a snare on the E, and it just does something to me. So simple. Abe Cunningham. I used to be in a Pantera tribute band. So
Vinnie Paul. Okay. Nice.
Who also shares the exact same birthday as me, the 11th of March. Rest in peace. So yeah, that's just a little factoid. So in the Pantera band, I was Skinny Paul. That's the part I played. So it was Abe Cunningham, Vinnie Paul, Danny Carey from Tool, absolute huge influence. Neil Peart from Rush. Rush aren't my favorite band, but his linear style and his just is solid application really gets me. And Jose Pasillas from Incubus as well.
Okay, solid.
I'd probably say that those are like the biggest influences. Deftones because of the bounce, Vinnie Paul because of the double bass, Danny because of the odd time and all the weirdisms, and Jose because of all the little effects and the little splashes and that kind of stuff. Maybe an amalgamation of that kind of stuff.
So when you were in high school, you were like a fucking kid in a candy store with all the new metal, and all those bands had huge releases during that time. Like when you were probably sophomore year in high school, you're probably just drowning in music that you loved.
Oh mate, it was amazing. Like there's one weekend that will forever be dubbed as Deftones weekend with me and my friends, and we were all studying for what we call in the UK our GCSEs. Don't know what it is in
like
America.
ACT or SAT or something like that, like the big test.
Like 15 years old, I think it is, something like that. And when we get study leave, we don't have a regular timetable in school. You're supposed to be at home studying. So what basically we did, Deftones announced it was the White Pony Tour, and it was Taproot and Linkin Park that supported it.
Yeah.
Linkin Park's very first UK tour.
Wow. And, such a great live show.
Mate, it was amazing, and they played one night at the best venue in Manchester where I live near, and then it sold out so quickly they booked another night 2 days after. So we went at like 9 a.m. and queued outside the door both of those gigs, and we got like the road crew came out because they saw us waiting there. We didn't get to meet them. I got one of Abe's drumsticks.
Nice.
A used drumstick, and I got his snare head. Mate, honestly, you should see this snare head. So they're not on this thing, but they're like in a secret hiding place, nice and safe in my house. I'm going to display them at some point. This snare head, like this, man.
Oh, does he hit really hard?
Oh my God, with the bottom of the sticks as well, yeah. And so it was like,
wow.
Honestly, every couple of nights they were replacing the snares. This snare head is like.
How do you? So just a little off topic, but how do you play like that for like 30 years or whatever they've been because they've been a band for a long time. I mean, probably 20. I would say 25 years at least. How do you hit that?
It was released in '95, so it's coming up to 30 years this year.
So how do you hit that hard for 3 decades and not have permanent damage to yourself?
You have a good posture. You make sure you're nice and relaxed. You make sure you're breathing properly. You make sure your kit is set up ergonomically for you as a person.
Okay.
Like if you're relaxed, I mean, it doesn't look like he has it. I've never heard of any issues that he's had, but I think it all just comes from doing your thing with so much conviction and knowledge that you are able to maintain relaxed composure. I mean, we all know that when we're trying things, when we're practicing, when we're working, that's when we tend to tense up because our mind isn't free because we're actually working on absorbing the information that we're looking at. So it's impossible to do, it's impossible to relax while you're learning something. You have to learn it and absorb it and then chill. Abe's point of view, Abe's not learning. Abe's not trying to progress. He's in his band and he's doing his thing, and he's been doing the same thing, albeit with musical development, but the actual stuff he's playing is only the same as the stuff he's been playing for the last 20 years. Like, it's still got the same vibe, it's got his own voice, so it must be down to how he holds himself at his kit and how he's set up. There's so much to be said about how relaxed you are, man. Even just holding your stick in a hand like that to that will have like profound effects on how you sound.
French to match grip. Yeah, it kind of reminds me actually of a samurai, like a really accomplished samurai. Like, they have a samurai sword and they could chop somebody in half, but they don't go, "Ow, my wrist." They have a lot of power and a lot of control and a lot of discipline. So I mean, he has to have a lot, because I haven't heard anything. I mean, and you hear about like Papa Roach's drummer has carpal tunnel and people have back issues from sitting too low and stuff like that. But I mean, if you're also going strong, he's got to be doing something right. So
on that, you're saying how just messed up that snare head was. He's hitting that hard, but when you watch him play, you hear how hard he's hitting. It doesn't look like he's hitting that hard. He's so relaxed.
Looks like he's relaxed. Yeah,
and it just flows. But then you see the damage he's doing, and you know that behind that little hit, he's doing some damage.
Can you imagine?
Oh, more booty shots.
Like, oh yeah, can you imagine? If this is a tennis racket, can you imagine knocking a ball to the other side of the court by going like this? Like, you might think, because it looks
with no shoulder, no arm, no nothing.
Yeah, you know what I mean? That might get the ball quite far, but fuck, I can feel it there. This, however, no energy. That's not coming from my wrist. It's still moving, but that. It's like, that's where the power's going to come from. And it's about thinking. It's about actually taking the time to think about like what the body was designed for and how the body moves and things like that. And people don't do that. A lot of instructors don't do that. Instructors are like based on the material that they're teaching you and not about like getting the best sound out of what you're actually doing and preventing injury, because this shit doesn't happen for 20 years until after you've been playing for 20 years. And people only solve these problems when it's too late, when something needs solving. It's like booking an exam. Like, you might not do the right amount of revision, but when you've got a deadline, it's like, shit, I need to work towards that deadline.
I gotta be prepared to finish on time. Yeah, for sure. Do we got time for one more?
Yeah, man, go for it. Yeah.
Okay. I want to talk about because I know we had a conversation about you working with Siros Vaziri in the past.
Absolutely.
And I'm interested to hear how you were, because he seems like a very accessible person as well. Yeah. But I would just like to know a little bit about how you partnered with him and what good advice he had for you.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Now, I first met Siros when he came to... Siros was basically, right, let me give you a background dead quick. Siros was basically the first drummer that I actually stumbled across on Instagram when I had Instagram, and I was still like developing my teaching career, and like at that point, starting an Instagram page to do with drums was not even a thought in my mind. Mm-hmm. But he was like, I wasn't even looking for drummers. I just kind of stumbled across him one day, and that was when I started getting into the drum community. And he basically, just like everything he did, everything I saw on the screen, everything I heard him say, everything he wrote, it just resonated with me. It just like awesome. on an electrical level, it just felt like you're a dude, and I get what you're doing, and I appreciate what you're doing. And I kind of felt like I had a bit of a similar mindset. So I was desperate for an opportunity to talk to him, basically, and he came to the UK doing a clinic tour, and I think it was in 2018, and he was playing in a little town nearby me. One of my friends, a bloke I know called Bob, was like arranging the tour with Siros, and he was playing at one of Bob's. He did a clinic in the town. And I basically got in touch with Siros over email and said, do you have any time for private lessons during the day before the clinic? Because I knew he'd be there and probably wouldn't have much to do. Can you teach me? So I took the journey to this place, and I booked I think 3 hours with him or something like that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Just so that I could sit and talk and kind of find out what he was doing. Now, That came after I discovered who Siros was, and by this point, I was contemplating starting a drumming page. And when I kind of met him, it was because everything that he was doing resonated with me, and I wanted to basically get like some sense of reassurance from him that what I was planning to do, I was kind of thinking about in the right way because I was inexperienced. And so he kind of just explained to me what his kind of ethos was about social media, and because he was using it in a similar way that I wanted to, not for the clout. It was about like growing himself an online business and a bit of a presence to create opportunities so that he could do more of the stuff that he wanted to do in his life and also make a living from it at the same time. And it was really interesting and it appealed to me so much. So we got together and we had these 3 hours, and basically I stayed in touch with him since then, and it was great. It was really informative. I met him a couple of years later as no, I think it was the year after he came to a drum exhibition. It's called the UK Drum Show. It's like NAM, but just for drums, smaller in the UK. And basically, I met him there again, and we just had a little catch up and whatnot. But that's really like the long and short of it. I just kind of really liked what he was doing. It resonated with me, and I wanted to find out like how he felt about it and what he did. I just wanted to pick his brains really, and since we've stayed in contact since. He's a really, really cool guy, really, really nice guy, very, very helpful, very, 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 very good as well for his age. Man, God, he puts in so much effort. He works so hard.
He really does. Yeah.
Yeah, but I suppose it was really about like wanting a sense of reassurance, because what he was doing so strongly resonated with me that I knew if I was going to start doing something, that a lot of it would be influenced by the type of thing that he was doing as well.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, and just that to be able to feed off each other, like he's made some comments too about some really interesting comments about how his page grew and now it's not growing on the same level. So it looks like he's doing like really well with like followers and stuff like that. But at a certain point, it plateaus and you have to go back to the drawing board and say, how do I get, how do I get an upward trend again? Or how do I get more students? Or how do I, reach more people? Things like that. So,
well, this is once again something. This is once again something that I'm pretty sure works behind the scenes in these apps. I'm pretty sure that I think it recognizes behavior, and when your behavior changes, it either encourages you or discourages you to change the behavior. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah.
I mean, that's always going to that's always going to be the case. Yeah, you might find your followers growing, but like engagement drops or whatever. It doesn't necessarily mean that like a change needs to take place. It's just that the app makes you think that a change needs to make place because you're not getting the rewards that you were getting a couple of years ago. So I also experimented with this, and I made absolutely no changes, and I just carried on. And then I started, the engagement dropped, and I thought, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm just going to carry on, see what happens. And then it's waves on an ocean. We are all connected by electricity. We are connected by the stars. It's a wave on an ocean. Carry on doing the same thing. It went like this. Then it went like this. And then it came like this.
Just like everything else, there's an ebb and a flow to it.
Always an ebb and a flow. There's a yin and a yang, an ebony and ivory. It's just life. It's just what it is,
It reminds me of the mouse in the maze. And they find that little button, the little tests, and they hit the button and they get the food.
Yeah.
That's like our social media. You're just hitting the button, and you're like, I'm gonna hit the button and the pellet, and then you hit it one time, and they're like, there's no pellet. Where's the food? Where's the food? And just for no reason, no explanation, I'm not getting my reward. I jumped through the hoops and I did everything I was supposed to do. I need a reward now, and I'm not getting it. But you're saying, you just gotta keep hitting the button or run the maze again or do whatever you got to do and come back and they'll be the pellet for you. Just keep hitting the button.
Yeah, man, I suppose so. Yeah. Or get bored of hitting the button and look to see if there's a different button somewhere. You just don't know if there's going to be or not. So you keep on hitting the button that you were hitting in the first place, hoping someone will refill the stock, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your day.
One more quick little question, Stu.
Shoot.
Yeah. Go, man, go.
One quick question. What is the moment that you said, I'm playing drums? What was that for you? What did you see? What did you hear that you went, I'm playing drums?
There wasn't one.
Really?
Yeah. Contrary to, but yeah, there wasn't one. There was no moment, there was no epiphany, but there was a person. There was a person. One of my very, very best friends, Mike. Mike was a guy. I was getting into metal at the age of 11. My cousin was getting me into metal. My best friend Mike came from another school, and I was the guy that was just coincidentally picked to show this guy around. We became really, really, really good friends. I showed him some metal. We both got into really, really cool music. We started on this journey together, and it was just developing my love for music with a peer. I had someone to say, oh my God, check out this band and check out this song. We both started playing instruments. It was natural that we played together, and it was more of a natural growth. There was no one moment that I was like, I am going to be a drummer. It was just, we slowly got into music, and it got to a point very quickly that we were so into music that there was just no other choice. And now we both do. Mike's now in a band. Maybe Mike now is in a band. We were like 11, I think, when we met. Like, he came to my school. We've been in bands throughout the years together. Now, at the moment, Mike's in, you fucking dudes, you need to check these bands out. There's a band based in Switzerland. They're called Herod. They're called Herod.
Okay.
And Mike now sings and plays guitar in Herod. And there was also there's a band called The Ocean. Do you know The Ocean?
The name sounds familiar.
Look up The Ocean. They're a great band. Their drummer, Paul Seadell, as well. He's a Meinl drummer as well. He's a cool dude. Now, you want to check out The Ocean as well. And Mike was in The Ocean for a short while. He sung, he didn't play guitar actually. I think he sung on one of their albums called Precambrian. So we were in a band together, but we never really did anything with the original stuff. It was just on the local scene where we lived. But it was because of Mike. It was because of Mike. Me and him developed this love together. You need to check out those bands. You will love them. Herod and The Ocean, the album Precambrian. That'll give you a good idea what my friend Mike is all about.
Sounds good. Well, dude, thank you again for coming on and chatting with us. It was a pleasure meeting you and learning more about your story, man.
Thank you so much for having me. I've had an absolutely fantastic time. Thank you so much, dudes. And go and enjoy the rest of your day. It's quite late now for me, so I'm going to crack open a beer, I think, and chill out.
All right, man. Enjoy the rest of your night. Cheers.
Fantastic. And you. Thanks, guys. See you later.
Take it easy.